Ready to tackle Interlagos in the Super Formula Lights? Today I'm breaking down the fastest lines, braking zones, and all the pro tips you need to shave off those precious seconds. Whether you're here to dominate your splits or just to stay off the walls, I've got you covered, so let's crack on with the guide. Right then, Interlagos, great little circuit. There'll be a lot of overtaking, a lot of dive bomb in turn one, so be very cautious and be very sensible. But braking zone, we're looking at kind of the Marshall post or the end of the wall. Brake nice and easy, don't turn in too early until you get under the shadow of that bridge, and then turn in nicely. Try and compromise this corner as best you can because we need a good slingshot through turn two. So try and say mid to left circuit. Cut this curb a lot, you'll be fine. If you cut it too much and hit the grass, you will spin out, so be cautious. And do not run too far wide on this exit curb of turn 3 / the apex of turn 3 because you can bottom out the car and spin out, so be cautious. Run the curb all the way around. I don't see the point in running out to the exit curb because all you're doing is elongating the distance. Maybe only by half a meter, but it all adds up at the end of the day. Coming down to turn 4 or Max Verstappen corner, and we're using the little service road just there that joins the circuit. Just after it, we want to brake nice and heavy. Take a load of curb, again not too much because you can bottom out the car, and do not run wide. There is an off track, and again I'm going to pause it in a minute to show you slowdowns. There is a slowdown at there if you run a bit too far wide. Right, if you do run wide, rejoin before the grass ends, otherwise you'll get a slowdown. The bottom two are slowdowns, top one did not get a slowdown, only an off track. Regardless of what rejoin you do, just make sure it's safe and don't crash into anyone else. Coming up to these beautiful double right-handers, and we're using that little Marshall post again over there. Just as we pass it, turn in full throttle and lift off. Little cheeky tickle the curb, let the car settle down, really sort of brake now because you want to get this double apex as well. You want to stay far right just as that curb ends because then we don't run too far wide. As soon as the car is straight and you're looking straight down the curb, that's when we want to brake. I do brake early here because you can actually take a lot of curve through here without getting off track. If you nip the tyres a bit more inward towards grass, you will get an off track, so bear that in mind. This little tricky hairpin here, make sure you keep tyres on the curb. The curb is raised and it saves you lifting that front left tyre, and that'll give you a ton of understeer if that's in the air not doing a lot. Use all the exit curb as well, and we're coming to this little next hairpin, and we're using the tree. Just before we get to the tree, brake on the outside, second gear, nice turn in, delay your turn in, make sure you don't cut this too much, and make sure you don't apex too early because otherwise you will run wide. That's a tongue twister, and get an off track there on the curb, so bear that in mind. This long sweeping left hander is flat out, so don't even worry about it until we get to the wet. That will come in a minute, and as soon as there's a little dip there where the tarmac dips in, that's where you want to start braking. Also dip a tire off the track as well to really maximize your rotation. Loads of curb. You can take more curb than I took there. It's probably better line. The car can take it at these sort of speeds, but again, be careful about running too far wide because you can really ruin your run up the hill, and this is a huge full throttle zone. The slipstream through here will be absolutely insane, but if you do run too far wide, the curve disappears off into Narnia and you just disappear off and do a Kimi Raikkonen. Who remembers that a few years ago? But yeah, this will slipstream fest. You'll probably get the overtake done before turn 1, but just be cautious about turn 1. People dive bombing. They will do it, but you can get the opportunity to overtake in turn 4. Otherwise, onto the wet. Right then, the wet layout, and already the racing line has changed because the braking zone is very close to the left-hand wall. Similar sort of error because we are going a little bit slower, so using the service Marshall post thing or the end of the wall just there, brake very early and keep very low. There's a lot of grip on the inside here, so use it. Get the car slow down. Really, you need to compromise this corner a lot because we need to open this one up as much as we can, and we do go on the racing line, but be careful just at this point. You go through the dip, and I don't know if there's a puddle there that we can't actually see, but you do lose the bum of the car, so be cautious about that one. But round here, you can actually get flat out on the racing line. Just be careful about not putting too much steering angle in, as I did there, because you can get a little bit snappy. If you do want to do that, just 80% throttle it, or even 70% throttle it, just to avoid all that power going for the rear axle. Coming down to turn 4 now, and again, we want to drift into the middle of the circuit, get off that racing line because it is very slippery. And again, we're using the 100-meter marker here. Brake nice and smoothly and nice and gently. Turn the car slightly out of the corner and then go all the way around the outside. You can see the shine of the apex there of all the rubberized lines. So this is where we need to be super careful about rejoining it, and also the curb there. You see I'm not full throttle until I'm in a straight line, so I'm being very cautious when I'm on it. You see there, very twitchy on the steering as I'm going around there. It's not too bad once you get the speed up and the downforce comes in, but when you're slow, it's very awkward. Again, Marshall post there on the left-hand side. Go very deep into the corner. Forget to turn in, basically, and go all the way around the outside. Let the car slow down as well. Keep a little bit of throttle on, but you are still reducing that speed because you do cross the rubberized line about now. And you can see my steering getting a little bit vague now. Again, middle of the circuit, and as soon as you are pointing in a straight line and you're over on the top of this sort of tabletop of a hill, brake nice and easy into the corner. Avoid the curb. You're going to have to be on the rubberized line, but you can see there, I'm losing grip on the rubberized line. This hairpin, left-handed hairpin here, go all the way around the outside because there is grip out here, so you may as well use it. Just be super cautious when we're feeding that power out now and we start rejoining that rubberized line. You can see it, and you can see the steering getting affected already. Get the car off of it and off into the middle of the circuit again. We're using the tree again as our braking marker, and again out to the outside of the corner, all the way around that rubberized line. And there is quite a bit of grip out there. You will feel the difference once you get around there, and again, be cautious as you rejoin it. Now, turn 11. This is a little cheeky rascal all the way out to the outside now, and we do what we did before, but we are not full throttle. We are easing off. We short shifted into fourth, and we're being very careful. And at this point, you want to get this car in a straight line as we rejoin that rubberized line because it is treacherous. End of the curb in, it comes up quickly, but remember it's there. Brake in middle of the circuit again. Get the car slow down, get the speed shrugged off. Little cheeky tickle of the curb, or more precisely the white line, and let the car settle down on acceleration. You don't want to accelerate too early. You will spin out, or you will understeer off into Narnia. So get the car straight and then start accelerating. Through here, the racing line doesn't really matter because it's a wet circuit, and at this point we're starting to get downforce load up on the car, so it's absolutely fine. If this is wet in the future, or if you're on an open setup, just be careful of your downforce levels. Interlagos is a very, very slipstreamy circuit. It normally has sort of medium to low-ish downforce because of this straight. If it is going to rain in future, series, then be cautious about making that decision. Low downforce around here is going to be tricky. I'll put it like that. Otherwise, hope this helped. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And yeah, I'll catch you on the next one.